and welcome back to Lady Jane Books. Today I'm doing my birthday book haul. It has happened! Lady Jane has survived one more rotation around the sun, and this calls for celebration. My birthday was a while ago, and my loving friends and family always know that the best gift to give Lady Jane is gift certificates, particularly bookshop gift certificates. So yes, I've received a lot of gift certificates lately for my birthday. So a couple weekends ago, I went out and I just went wild. Book buying ban, be gone. And I used my gift certificates and I bought a couple of books that I would like to share with you. So let's get started. The first book that I received for my birthday was The Ice Pick Surgeon by Sam Kean. This was a birthday gift from my dad, and I was so excited when I opened it because I have never heard of this book before. My dad and I share a great love of books, and he knows I kind of like scary stuff and medicine and creepy stuff that goes on within medicine. So he bought me The Ice Pick Surgeon. This is a nonfiction book detailing really unethical practices in medicine throughout history. And it details some really scary things that were done, like experimentation without people's consent, and really kind of horrific experiences that medicine had to go through in the name of discovery. It sounds incredibly creepy, it sounds really scary, it sounds very disturbing, but oddly fascinating. I already peeked through it one afternoon, and I got so wrapped in I already read one of the full sections, and it was so fascinating and so interesting. So I was so excited when my dad gifted me The Ice Pick Surgeon by Sam Kean for my birthday. The next book that I bought for my birthday is The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream by Dean Job. I am reading this as a buddy read for Nonfiction November with one of my all-time favorite booktube buddies, very literary Kari. And so I was in the bookstore and I knew I had to read this, but I was like, why not treat yourself to a beautiful hard copy, Jane? This is also a nonfiction book detailing Dr. Cream, who was a Victorian serial killer. We are so excited to do this buddy read. It's about a doctor who I guess was killing his patients who were vulnerable women, and he's known as a Victorian serial killer. I am incredibly excited to dive into this later in November with my booktube buddy Kari from Very Literary Kari. And it's just gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so exciting. It sounds really creepy. I think it details like a case that was done against Dr. Cream. Oh my goodness, I am thrilled. But this cover is absolutely gorgeous, and I haven't read a physical copy of a book for a while, and it's time. It's time for Jane to read at least one physical book in 2021. So I treated myself to a physical copy of The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream by Dean Job. The next book that I bought for my birthday is Spook, Science Tackles the Afterlife by Mary Roche. This was a complete impulse buy. I saw it on one of those tables and I was like, I gotta just try this. This sounds creepy, it sounds odd. I don't know what it is about Jane and science lately. I don't know, it's like murdery science trend going on in Jane's brain. I'm not sure, but I was absolutely fascinated when I saw this, so I picked it up. I believe that Mary Roche is actually the author of Stiff, which is a New York Times bestseller about death. And I think this book is kind of an offshoot of that, where it's looking at the existence of an afterlife through science. And I think she goes and talks to like scientists, mediums, people who have studied the brain after death, and all this really cool sciencey stuff in pursuit of finding out whether or not there's an afterlife. It sounds so interesting. I do not know why Jane is kind of fascinated with science and death lately, but it's gonna be a really, really interesting read. I like the idea of looking at death and the presence of an afterlife in a really scientific way. I know that's often discussed in like a spiritual way and an emotional way, but looking at it in kind of a clinical, research, data-based way kind of is interesting to me. So I'm really excited that I picked up Spook, Science Tackles the Afterlife by Mary Roach. And the final book that I picked up for my birthday book haul is Lady Killers, Deadly Women Throughout History by Tori Telfer. This was another impulse buy. I saw it on the table, it looked interesting. It's about female serial killers, so you know Jane bought it. This explores the life and crimes of women who've done some really brutal things in history, and I think that's a really interesting exploration. I haven't seen a lot of books solely on female serial killers, and I took a look at the index, and I only recognize one name in this entire book, so I think I'm gonna learn a lot by reading it. I'm kind of interested to see this discovery of new female serial killers, new to me female serial killers that is, and what they did, and the trials and the crimes and the proceedings. I think this is incredibly interesting because not only does it look at the history of famous female serial killers, but it also looks at how they were treated during their crimes in the media and their trials and the justifications for what they've done in some cases. It's going to be so interesting. So I picked up Lady Killers, Deadly Women Throughout History by Tori Telfer. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I mean, compared to last year, this isn't bad. It's not a big book haul, but it's a strong book haul. Size doesn't matter, Jane. Size doesn't matter. So I know I was on a book buying ban, but gift certificates don't count, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna say it out loud. If you have a gift certificate and it's your birthday, you go wild in the bookstore. That's Lady Jane policy. My birthday was a while ago, and my loving friends and family always know that the best gift to give Lady Jane is bookshop. The next book that I bought for my birthday is The Murderous Case of Dr. Cream. I never get that right. Oh, goodness. The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream by Dean Job. Got it right, Jane. And so I was in the bookstore and I knew I had to read this, but I was like, why not treat yourself to a beautiful hard copy, Jane? Yeah, that sounds right. That didn't sound right for a second, but it was okay. It was okay. We're fine. We're here and we're staying here and we're fine. I am thrilled, but this cover is absolutely gorgeous, and I haven't read a physical copy of a book for a while, and it's time. It's time for Jane to read at least one physical book in 2021. So I treated myself to a physical copy of The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream by Dean Job. I almost slipped there, but I didn't, and I caught myself, and then it sounded awkward, but we're rolling with it. And the final book that I purchased for my birthday book haul is Deadly Women. It's not right, Jane. Jane, you're reading it and you're looking at the camera and saying it. Why is it not connecting, Jane? What is going on today? This is a nonfiction book that... Do you hear that? Flyover! Oh, that's so cool. They're in formation. I just saw a bunch of jets flying overhead in formation. I don't know what that means, but it is seriously cool. Planes, trains, and automobiles, Gene.